Hello, welcome to the Content
I brought the
Bites.
squeaky chair again. You always give me the squeaky chair.
Must have.
I promise it's not anything else. It's just the chair
It's the chair.
squeaking. Oh, but we are back. It's
We are
Rachel
back.
and Lynn.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm Lynn Testoni. I'm a content writer and journalist. And you
And
are?
I'm Rachel Smith. I'm the founder of Rachel's List, a jobs board for creatives, and I'm also a journalist, copywriter, and content writer.
And we're talking about how to write great content.
Speaking of content,
Yes.
we're talking about like more of the framework, the kind of skeleton for a great piece of content, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah.
sort of, I think some people really like the sort of process and the nuts and bolts, not just who to target, but how to actually do it.
Yeah, and also I think content, like, you know, online content is very different to writing a feature for a magazine, isn't
Yeah,
it? So
it is a bit.
There's lots of little variables you need to think about. You need to think about, you know, is it going to rank there?
All those
does it have the
algorithms.
keywords, all that sort of thing. So we're just going to talk about the framework of the content, not so much about the body.
We're
get
really
into
talking
that.
about like website articles, online content here.
Yeah, and although content obviously can mean, you know, audio or visual content or video content, we're going to focus on the written word
The written word. Yeah.
today. So who needs content?
Well, actually, the thing is, we're talking about this before, is that everyone does. Pretty well every sort of business needs a website now, and every website needs something on it, like some sort of content on that website. So it varies in the depth of content they need and the quality, but everyone needs it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, but when we talk about good content, what do we mean by good content? Because you can write a piece of content that reads beautifully and is great, but you know, basically tanks when it hits Google's algorithm. So what does good content come down to?
I guess it's trying to get people to click or share or register or maybe even take another action, like to book an appointment with a business or to go to a showroom or to buy something.
Yep. And also just to learn, you know,
True.
a lot of the best content is kind of how-to content, isn't it? It's like giving people a step-by-step thing on how to do something or to learn something.
I have seen a great statistic that sort of like 80% of people buying something have researched it beforehand online.
Yeah.
So you might go and buy just a shirt at a dress shop or a boutique or something, but you've actually looked at it beforehand online. Or if you go to buy something like a big purchase for your home, like a bed or a sofa, you'll have done a lot of research before, and that's where we have to capture people.
That's so true, actually, because I have done a lot of stuff for, you know, supply chain and also marketing companies, and those stats are really high. Even people being on their smartphones in the store, comparing prices and, you know, reading content in the store before they buy. So,
So they're sort of they will be. And I know when I've renovated and I've been in looking at tiles, the tile shop said everybody comes in with a Pinterest or something on their phone to say, this is what I've been seeing. Do you have something like this? So that's our job, is to create the good content, and that's what my company, my clients want. They want something often more of a research sort of piece so people can make up their mind.
So we have already mentioned some of the tools that you can use in constructing your content. I think that was episode 5.
Yeah, in the first season,
but we'll touch on a few more today. I think the first thing in creating a piece of content is obviously the topic, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's so many ways to choose that.
I mean, some clients will know, won't they? They'll just hand you the topics and
even if they don't know, asking them some good questions, saying, so what do people ask? What's the most common questions people ask? Where do people find the topic? Or do you,
So what are the most common questions your audience want to know over and over? What do they ask you? And that sort of thing. And often some clients will have done previous like keyword research, which they'll send to you, you know, along with the commission or whatever. But then
sometimes they even know which posts have done better previously on their website. So if everybody's looking at, you know, how to choose a good sofa and nobody's looking at colours, you sort of know.
Yep. So obviously we've mentioned that content can be about informing or solving people's problems. So, you know, if the client doesn't know you know, what they want on there. They know they need content. They know that it's going to help bring them traffic. They want blogs and stuff like that. You can sort of offer to do that if you know SEO and you know how to do a keyword audit, or you could, you know, hire someone to do that part of it and then work together with that person to create the content. Yeah, that's something you can always offer. Or they might give you the keywords and say, can you brainstorm topics? Yeah. So that's so it's important to get the topic down is what we're saying. Yeah. That comes first, really. Yeah. And I think that, you know, just a couple of tools, I know that you love using
Answer the Public.
Why do you like that?
I just like it because it makes me think. So you put in a topic, and it could be something like beds, say, and it gives you a lot of things that people are asking, questions that people are asking. It just gives you ideas as to the sort of sometimes when you get embedded into a subject, you forget what people who don't know as much as you do are looking for, and you often get real clumps of like, everybody wants to know how to choose a bed, or what's the difference between a queen size bed and a king size bed. That's so obvious, but you don't realise people don't know that. Yeah,
that's right. I think that particular tool uses Google's suggest data, doesn't it? Because there's another similar tool that I've just started using, which is really cool, and it's called alsoasked.com. That uses a different part of the data that Google spits out, which is the people also asked data. Yes. But it's better for long-tailed keywords. So you could plug in something and it will give you long-tailed keyword suggestions. So those two can be really helpful for seeing what, you know, is of interest to people out there. Yeah. But then the next step in that is you actually want to know that your piece of content is going to be searched for regularly, don't you? Yeah. You don't want to, you know, put up a great piece of content and have crickets. Nobody's searching for it.
Because it's not anything,
Yeah, so you want to take, once you've kind of got a vague topic, or, you know, you've nutted out your topic, you can then take it into another tool, like a keyword tool like Uber Suggest. Yeah. I really love Uber Suggest.
Well, you showed it to me today and I think I like it. I'm going to add it. Yes. I'm going to add it to my
Uber Suggest is very easy to use. It's Neil Patel, who is very cool. Yeah. Do you ever listen to his videos? Yes, I do listen
to Neil Patel. He knows so much about SEO.
He's so great. So this is the keyword. You kind of put in your keyword or your long-tailed keyword, and it will spit out the search volume that gets per month and the SEO difficulty. Which are two pieces of data that are really, really important to the content that you're writing. Yeah. And so once you've got that, you choose, you know, something that is quite a high search. It might be 550 searches a month, and you know the SEO difficulty might be 10 or it might be 15, and that's quite good.
And talk me through the SEO difficulty. What does that mean?
So I think. Well, I'm not an SEO expert at all, but just the little that I know, I think you want it to be lower. Because you don't want to have as much competition for your
So it's about the level of competitiveness.
Exactly. So if you were looking at an SEO difficulty of 80, you'd be like, maybe won't use that. Yeah. Because
everybody's trying that.
Yeah, that's right. So so that's kind of important. And that sort of process using Answer the Public, Also Asked, and Uber Suggest can help you come up with a rock solid title for your content. And that, you know, it can help inform that title. And I think that, you know, writing a good title, I think it's HubSpot that say they use, is it HubSpot? They spend 30 minutes on a title alone.
Oh, right.
Coming up with the title alone. Because something like 60% of people will just read the title and nick off. They won't even stop to read the post. So getting the title really nailed down is really important.
I use Fat Joe a lot for titles, which is, they're really cheesy clickbait worthy, but it always gives me a clever way to frame once I get the topic. And
I know that something that we've learnt at Rachel's List is to be really clear in the title and make sure it reflects the content, because
otherwise people just click and get annoyed.
Absolutely. And while I think clickbait, you know, or elements of it, you know, can be useful, you really want it to be a good reflection of the content that the person's going to read, or they'll just lose trust in the site and leave. So I think it's really important to get that right and to brainstorm it. And then you were saying that sometimes, you know, with your clients, you'll have to write a sort of more magazine-y title, and then...
Well, I have one client that I write a lot of content for, and I've probably written about 40 or 50 case studies for them, which is great, and they have a lot of content on there now. So you could get, if you went all for the keywords for in that particular niche, I think you'd end up being, they'd all be the same headline. So I do something a bit clever, a bit more magazine-y or a bit more newsy, but like then cover line, you know, sort of, that's a bit more personal to that post. But then with the meta title, I keep it sort of a bit more sort of keyword rich. Yeah. So I think that works quite well. Yeah. And because some of that content also, they pull them together into a lookbook in case they do some printed or brochures, and then they use the real title rather than meta title in all their brochures, because it's a bit more atmospheric.
Absolutely. That brings us to the other really important point of, a piece of content is the meta description.
Yes.
Now, I know some people, Kate Toon is one of them, who says it's the most important piece of
the puzzle.
The puzzle. So, yeah. Because it's that couple of lines, what is it, 160 characters or something, is what tells, people when they hit on it in Google what that page is about and inspires them to click. So
I keep them really clear, really obvious and fairly succinct with as many of the keywords that I think that people are looking for.
So that's really important. And actually, like if you use Yoast, if say that you're on a WordPress blog or your client is, and you've got the Yoast plugin, that can help you with all of these like little variables and make sure you get the right length for the title, which is 60 characters.
Something like
check that. And the metadata, and it can check the keywords are in there. It gives you a score, like a traffic light score. So it's so useful. Get that plugin if you do not have it. Yoast. So the actual content, we're not going to go so much into the H1s and all of that today, but just quickly, it's good to split your content up.
Yeah.
Not long paragraphs, lots of bullet points, subheads, make it easy to read, I think.
I think so too. And I use the subheads, and I do more subheads than I used to do. And it does, and that's where I put in keywords as well. Because that's sort of important, and you sort of, make sure you cover off all the really key elements of the topic in that.
Absolutely. I mean, there's lots to say about the content body itself, so we will save that for a future episode. But the last thing in our framework that we're going to talk about is
the call to action.
The CTA.
The call to action, which is funny because a lot of it's, if you've been a traditional journalist, you've often never used those because it's much more of the commercial sort of part of writing. But it's about basically what you want people to do with this. Sort of to buy something, to see more of, to talk to an industry representative or a salesperson, whatever it is at the bottom.
Download your lead magnet, or your call to action might be as simple as, leave a comment. We'd love to hear your take on this. Or so you do want it to be meaningful, and you want it to inspire the audience to do something. So it's something to spend a bit of time on as well.
Yeah. Terrific.
I think that's it. We're
gonna
go.
Yes, fantastic.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Okay, thanks. Bye.